it has more chance to favor Chimaev because he's a very strong starter. But Dricus du Plessis is a very good finisher. He's very good at the end in the deep waters, and he's very athletic. So if it goes later in a decision, it might go the other way.
Who do you think? You have a pick or 50-50?
I know them both. I can't say that. They're gonna be pissed off. So I have an opinion, but I can't really share it.
With less than 3 days until UFC 319's highly anticipated clash between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis, MMA legend Georges St-Pierre has captured attention with his detailed breakdown. Instead of picking a clear favorite, he described it as a true battle of styles, expecting Chimaev to have the upper hand in the early rounds due to his explosive starts, while du Plessis' stamina and resilience could allow him to take control in the later stages. St-Pierre noted that if the fight goes the distance, the advantage might shift in du Plessis' favor.
Very excited, yeah, indeed. It's a clash of style, and it's very interesting.
I can't believe this fight is finally here, man. I'm so excited, you have no idea. Tell me your pick right off the bat. Tell me who you think is going to win.
Look, I think if it's an early stoppage, it has more chance to favor Chimaev because he's a very strong starter. But Dricus du Plessis is a very good finisher. He's very good at the end in the deep waters, and he's very athletic. So if it goes later in a decision, it might go the other way. So could go both.
UFC legend Georges-St-Pierre made it clear he's not underestimating Dricus du Plessis' wrestling, noting his strength, likely judo background, and solid base. At the same time, he praised Khamzat Chimaev's striking, calling it very good. GSP emphasized that both men are well-rounded athletes capable of winning in unexpected ways, rejecting the idea that this fight is just a classic striker versus grappler matchup. While Chimaev's specialty remains wrestling and submissions, St-Pierre believes either fighter has the power to score a knockout.
Don't underestimate Dricus du Plessis wrestling. I think he's very strong. Yeah, I think he did judo before. He's got a strong base. So, and Chimaev, I don't underestimate his striking either, because Chimaev have a very good striking. So they both can win in very unexpected ways. You know, people has a tendency to say, oh, this guy's a grappler, this guy is a striker. That's not what this fight is. This fight are two athletes, very well-rounded, that gonna fight each other. Of course, they have specialty, especially in Chimaev's case. He's very good in wrestling and submission as well, but they both can knock each other.
Georges St-Pierre also believes Khamzat Chimaev could win if he keeps his emotions in check, warning that fighting with too much emotion can drain a fighter's energy. He considers Chimaev underrated and more skilled than many realize, with the ability to catch Dricus du Plessis early using his unconventional katagatame in a scramble. However, GSP also envisions a scenario where du Plessis survives the early storm, wears Chimaev down, and takes over in the later rounds.
Yes, George, let me tell you what I think. If Chimaev controls his emotions, he's going to win.
Could be, because emotion sometimes makes you spend too much energy. But on the other side, it's true, but Dricus du Plessis, I think he's very underrated. He's much better than what people give him credit for. So it could go both sides. You know, Chimaev can go through, especially if you catch him with his very good inverted katagatame early on in the round. If you put him down and in a scramble, when Dricus du Plessis tried to stand up, he got caught in an inverted katagatame. I can see that happen. But I can also see Dricus wearing down Chimaev and surviving, and in the later round winning the fight. So both scenario.
Georges-St-Pierre further acknowledged that Dricus du Plessis is a very powerful striker, while noting that Khamzat Chimaev is also dangerous on his feet. He believes both fighters possess knockout power, making the matchup unpredictable and exciting. While some critics question du Plessis' striking style, GSP appreciates its karate influence, explaining that the unusual timing and movements typical of karate can disrupt opponents who are more used to facing traditional kickboxers or Muay Thai fighters.
What do you think of DDP's striking style?
He's very good, very, very good, and he hits very hard. Chimaev too. Chimaev is a very good striker, so they both can knock each other out. So they both have power, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting. That's the most interesting fights, is when you don't know what's gonna happen.
A lot of people criticize DDP's striking style, but me, I like it. There's some karate in there, no?
Yeah, it's karate, and I think it's very unusual because most people in UFC, they used to fight and see kickboxers and guys from Muay Thai background, but karate look, I did karate myself, so I know that it's set up a lot of time my opponent, because we use different timings and different moves that they're not.
When asked who is physically stronger, Georges St-Pierre explained that strength is situational. In his view, Chimaev may hold the advantage in wrestling and takedown driving power, while du Plessis could be stronger in close-quarters grappling, with better pushing, pulling, and lifting strength in body-to-body exchanges.
Especially in Chimaev's case, he's very good in wrestling and submission as well, but they both can knock each other out.
I'm going to ask you another impossible question. Who's physically stronger, Chimaev or DDP?
I think strength is very it's very specialized. I think in terms of wrestling, takedown, driving, strength could be Chimaev, but I think if they lock body to body, I think could be DDP. You know, pushing, pulling, like more lifting strength. I think it could be DDP. I think more applicable, like for wrestling strength, it could be.
Meanwhile, Dricus du Plessis stated that fans have only witnessed a fraction of his true abilities, as he is still evolving toward his full potential. He credits experience and continuous improvement for his growth since his debut and his dedication to refining every aspect of his skill set, striving for peak performance even though perfection may never be fully attainable.
Then again, I'm not fighting at perfect. I'm fighting at a 6 out of 10 here. I'm still far away from giving the performance that I know I can. I'm far away of being the striker that I know I can be, the wrestler and the grappler. You know, when you get into fight, because of situations, you know, the fighter that I know I can be, how I can strike, it's so difficult to do it in a fight. You know, as my career goes, Dricus that made his debut versus Dricus that fought the last time, two very different people, and I keep evolving and getting better, and that's why I feel I'm chasing the perfect round, the perfect fight, doing everything to perfection in a fight. I think it's impossible.
Dricus du Plessis acknowledges the hype surrounding Khamzat Chimaev, admitting that the praise and recognition Chimaev receives is well-deserved and calling him a rare talent who lives up to his reputation. However, du Plessis insists that while Chimaev is undeniably great, his own skills are far superior to what most people give him credit for.
Overrated in your opinion?
No. I think
he's worthy of all the praise. He's worthy of all the praise and everything that he received.
Absolutely. I think Khamzat is a special fighter.
From the moment Dricus du Plessis first saw Khamzat Chimaev in the octagon, he believed Chimaev had the makings of a star. He recalls a long period when Chimaev was sidelined for nearly 2 years, making headlines more for constant trash talk and challenges across weight classes than for actual fights. Du Plessis admits the endless callouts became tiresome, yet he still holds Chimaev in high regard. However, he maintains that while Chimaev lives up to the hype, his own abilities surpass what most people expect.
First time I saw him fight, I knew this guy was going to be special. 100%. I knew he was going to be special. There was a stage where he didn't fight for like 2 years or something. And listen, he speaks a lot more than he fights. I can tell you that much too. But there was a long period of time he was calling out every single person. That just started getting annoying. He was annoying the shit out of me. He was calling out welterweights, middleweights, light heavyweights. He wasn't fighting anyone. But there was never ever a stage where I went, oh, this guy's overrated. No, he is as good as people think. I think he's as good as people think. I just think I'm a lot better.
On the other hand, Michael Bisping acknowledged Dricus du Plessis' impressive record, which includes major wins over Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, and Robert Whittaker. However, he saw Khamzat Chimaev as a completely different challenge, an unpredictable, aggressive fighter who rarely slows down. Bisping believed Chimaev wouldn't be able to smile du Plessis like he has done to others, and questioned whether he could handle a full 5-round battle.
Just beat Strickland twice, Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker, before that was Derek Brunson and Darren Till and Brad Tavares. It was definitely, I won't say a step up because Strickland was a champ and Israel was a long-time champ. But I do think Khamzat is a different kind of beast. You know, the question is, can he go 5 rounds? You know, I think he knows he can't expect to go out there and just get a hold of Dricus, ragdoll him to the floor and face crank him, smash his teeth in like he did to Robert Whittaker and walk away. You know, the fun thing about Khamzat is that he'll try and do that. I don't think he has the ability to pace himself because he's never had a need.
Michael Bisping describes Khamzat Chimaev as a relentless, all-out fighter who is always moving forward. He calls him a true finisher who constantly pushes the pace and looks to end fights by knockout or submission. Bisping emphasizes that aggressive style makes him one of the most dangerous fighters from the very first bell.
Chimaev is a force of nature, and he only knows how to fight one speed, and that's why people really enjoy watching this guy fight. He goes forward, he's a straight-up killer, he's looking to take you down, do damage, knock you out, squeeze your head up. Whatever it is, he's trying to do damage right from the opening bell, and that's what he's done to almost everybody. 14 wins, 12 stops.
Mike Perry described Dricus du Plessis as an awkward yet unshakable force with surprisingly sharp skills. While most fans favor Khamzat Chimaev, Perry leans toward DDP, citing his strength, unorthodox style, and relentless pressure. He even envisioned du Plessis pulling off a wild finish, such as jumping on Chimaev's back for a backpack-style submission.
People are like, oh, Khamzat all day. Some people are like, DDP all day. You know, I'm actually in like Sweden and like California, and Dricus trains in the trench of Africa. I think DDP is just this awkward boulder. He's just an iron boulder. Khamzat has skills. He's gonna jump on the back. He's gonna pull some backpack.
Yeah, he's gonna like he tried on Rob, but I don't think you're gonna be able to, like you just said, dude. He is just like an iron boulder. Like he's gonna survive. It's gonna end up being like the Gilbert Burns and Khamzat.
Mike Perry sees Dricus du Plessis as a big, powerful, and fearless fighter who carries serious strength into the octagon, while he respects Khamzat Chimaev's skills and strategic approach. Perry believes du Plessis's size and toughness would give him the edge in a matchup between them.
I think DDP's big and strong and scary-ish. Like, he's a good guy, but like when he's in that ring, he's really powerful. Chimaev lets us think he's not as smart as he is. He has game plans. Chimaev's been a terror in the UFC. He's really taken a lot of it over, and we're all excited to see him compete. DDP's been really humble, but very, very courageous, very strong. I think DDP wins if they fight.
On the other hand, Sean Strickland said Dricus du Plessis would need to be prepared for Khamzat Chimaev's relentless ground pressure. He believed du Plessis had the advantage in striking, but felt Chimaev's grappling was on another level. Strickland questioned whether du Plessis had ever faced that caliber of wrestling and warned it could disrupt his game. He added that if du Plessis could handle that pressure, he would have a real chance to win.
I fought Dricus, I fought Dricus, I fought... Dricus has better stand-up than Chimaev, but Chimaev has a pretty crazy grappling. Now, I've been training with these fucking dadgy terrorists my entire fucking life, so it's like I train with these fuckers. I know how to get up from these guys. I can withstand a storm. I don't know if he's encountered that level of wrestling to where it might get him a little off guard, but if he could handle it and get up and work his way up, I mean, it's kind of hard because, like, I mean, it's a long time ago, but Brad took him down and held him down. Fuck, I should let him down. But Brad took him down and held him down, so it's like, he just really has to be ready for an extreme amount of pressure on the ground. And if he can withstand that, he's going to see.
Sean Strickland recalled training with Khamzat Chimaev and shared moments that made him question Chimaev's mindset. He mentioned being present when Chimaev, after recovering from COVID, briefly considered retirement and admitted to mocking him for it during practice. Strickland claimed Chimaev often chose sparring partners who posed little threat, which he saw as avoiding real challenges. In his view, Chimaev lacked the mental toughness to truly thrive under pressure.
It was just a fucking time. I mean, I was here when he retired from COVID. You know, I was training with him. Like, he's just a fucking cunt. You know, it's like, if you knew, I always say to those guys, if you knew on a personal level you wouldn't like, Chimaev is one of those people if you knew you wouldn't like. You know, he'll come in here. There's a video of me, I always like, oh, you're so good. You're better than everybody. Don't hurt you. Like, I'm being sarcastic. Like, bro, like, you go and you can start this one-on-one guy when there's like Edmund, there's like high-level UFC fighters, and you're picking the one-on-one fighter because, like, you think he's the same height as your opponent. No, you're picking him because you're a bitch, dude. Like, it's just, yeah, he's just like, no, he could fight, but like mentally, he's just a weak man. You know, he's just a...
Khamzat Chimaev responded to Sean Strickland's remarks by challenging him to a face-to-face confrontation now that he is back in the U.S. he accused Strickland of staying quiet when he was in Vegas and only speaking up after his visa issues, which he might now be dealing with in LA. Chimaev invited Strickland to meet in person if there was a real problem to settle. That's all for today's video. Share your thoughts on the Khamzat vs DDP matchup in the comments and subscribe to our channel for more updates on their upcoming clash.